Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
I'm appalled at what you said on that pod thing. It's disgusting.
This is the After the Show podcast. It's where we get honest and real with yo ass. So sit back, relax, have a blast, because it's time for the After the Show podcast.
That's right, it is. Hello and welcome. KVJ back in the studio. KVJ TV is cranking today. We're up on Facebook and all that kind of good stuff as well. So glad to get everything kind of back up and working.
Isn't it nice though to be back?
It is. It is very nice to be back in the studio and do it in here. That part is a lot easier, especially when your computers are working. So we're in
What
here.
do you know about a working computer?
Yeah, well, it's just, like imagine if you were going to do a presentation. You had all these slides and you had, for instance, like a teleprompter with your entire script on it. And then imagine you get there and they're like going, hey, we need you to do your 4-hour speech, but your teleprompter doesn't work and you don't have any of your slides. Go. Yeah, that's today for me. So there you go.
Poor Denny's. When I came in, he was frantically trying to get the computer to respond. It would not. And he's over there trying to fix not only your computer, his computer.
Right, yeah.
And then I looked at him and I went, Denny's, guess what? My computer's broken too. And he's like, sorry.
Yeah, that's
it's
it.
like, there's nothing I can do for you.
Everything stopped. So I'm not sure what exactly happened while we were gone quarantining. But
Somebody must have been trying to get into this computer because it locked out and said that my password had been used incorrectly too many times, and I was locked out of the system. I was like, oh.
Well, clearly somebody tried to get in there. Mama Bear.
Wasn't me.
Yeah, not sure what happened, but bam, there you go. Got a bunch of emails to get to. Thank you very much for sending them out. Mail at kvjshow.com. Got one from Joanna. She said, hey, I just wanted to share a documentary I watched last night on Netflix. It's called The Social Dilemma.
Oh.
It's about all the social media platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Google, and more, and the people who have created all these platforms, and the scary part and the reality of them and what it's doing to the current generation. I won't give too much away, but I will say it's frightening, and AI knows much more about you than you think because of these platforms that may have become addicted to. I think it's so important to share this because I think everybody needs to know this information because it really can be damaging, especially to the younger generation, and knowledge is power. And yeah, it's not just the younger generation what imprint on me. It's us. It's every generation, and the fighting that you see and the discord that's happening. And, part of me has said, okay, if we can just get through this presidential election. But basically, you look at it, that's not going to be it. Really, the core of the problem. And you look all the way back to 2016, and it was there as well. It's just been increasing. It's just part of our new reality. And yeah, the special, and I will probably give a lot away, but to me, it's not a cliffhanger type thing.
It's information.
Yeah, it's information that I want to share, and so I pulled out some of the clips because I did watch it last night. Jaybird had texted me yesterday after somebody else was telling me about it, and so I made the time to watch it and pulled some of the more important clips off of it.
I watched 40 minutes of it. I hit pause, and then I texted Kevin. I'm like, you got to watch this thing, only because some of the feelings that I was just having personally with social media and my own opinions, they were hitting on what I've been feeling. So it felt good to not feel like I'm fucking insane over here.
And I think to start, I think everybody who is online or on social media or anything and just is getting sucked into this stuff and you're getting emotional about things, and if you feel like you have really strong entrenched opinions, you need to really understand some of the manipulation, the reasons why you feel that way, and kind of pulling back the curtain helps you to understand, and maybe you yourself will say, wow, okay, I am being manipulated. I am being fed
And I've
some
been
of this
acting
stuff.
like a lunatic. I've been fighting and screaming and yelling at people on social media, and why am I doing all this?
Think about it. If you're at a bar and you get into a conversation about something, whether it's controversial or not, you're talking to 6, 7, 8 people at the most. And if you're having a conversation, and if people don't like your opinion, you guys get into an argument or you guys disagree, and that is it. But on social media, I know I'm mansplaining social media, but I'm just saying that then that's 30 comments, 1,000 comments of whatever is going on, and it could be negative, it could be angry, and a lot of that can fuck you up a bit.
Here's audio of people that have worked for all the big platforms. They were, some of them very high ranked up, like senior VPs and things like that have been with Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, Pinterest. Google was one of the big companies that they talked a lot about, at Google searches and how you get your information and how much they know about you. And here's some of the clips that really stood out to me and The Social Dilemma on Netflix.
There's a study, an MIT study, that fake news on Twitter spreads 6 times faster than true news. What is that world going to look like when one has a 6 times advantage to the other?
We've created a system that biases towards false information. Not because we want to, but because false information makes the companies more money than the truth. The truth is boring.
It's a disinformation for profit business model. You make money the more you allow unregulated messages to reach anyone for the best price.
So that really explains a lot. Fake news makes more money. It gets people more engaged and everything. And they said the real problem that we have with social media is the monetary model that we have on it, where basically what they are trying to do is they are trying to manipulate your attention. The thing that they said on this that stood out to me in The Social Dilemma, if you're not paying for the product, you are the product. And it's your time and attention that they are getting. That's what they want. That's how you're paying for all this stuff, because these companies will buy for impressions. They'll pay 3 cents for every impression that they get. So the longer they keep you engaged and in there, so they don't care about the truth. They're not going for the truth. To them, that's not their incentive. Their incentive is money. So they're doing whatever they can to get the money, not to get to the truth.
The thing that a lot of people already know a lot of this stuff, and we always talk about, I think Facebook's listening to me. But yeah, if you're typing in, if you love to look at big titties, and all of a sudden 90% of your searches are big old titties, guess what? You can probably have some big old titties showing up in your feed.
And you ain't mad?
Well, I'm not mad at that. That's what I like technology.
Here's another comment from The Social Dilemma.
And then you look over at the other side, and you start to think, how can those people be so stupid? Look at all of this information that I'm constantly seeing. How are they not seeing that same information? And the answer is, they're not seeing that same information.
Yeah, you think that they're just so blinded to what the truth is, but they just really haven't even seen it. And that's why I think for a lot of people, it is a good exercise to go to one of those platforms that you know and read up on everything that they're saying, fully understand what the right's saying, what the left's saying, and then balance it out a little bit.
The earth is flat, motherfucker. They talk about that in the documentary, the rise of flat earthers, and you go, how can somebody be so stupid? They explain how.
Yeah. They go and they find maybe the 10 flat earthers that are there, and then they can go and specifically target them and send them more propaganda. And then they can take that propaganda and start to spread it.
I've never wanted to punch my nuts. I heard 2 flat earthers trying to prove to 2 scientists that flat earth is real. And these scientists who've gone to school since they fell out of the womb, they're looking at each other like, should we fucking yell at these people? Oh, there's a camera on us. We can't call them stupid, right? And the people that were the flat earthers were getting so much respect. You're thinking, what the shit is going on here?
Well, that's what's happening is the credibility in the certain forums that you go into, the craziest ideas when you have people validating and make them sound like they're normal, then all of a sudden you're like going, am I going crazy?
Yes. You feel like you're going crazy.
But then
the world's going crazy.
Well,
that's what you start to think.
Yes, but that's not it.
That's not real.
Social media puts you into this little pocket of these crazy people, and you think that all of a sudden this is how the rest of the world thinks, and it's not. It's just a small pocket of social media.
The one part I liked was go outside, because it's not as bad as you think it is. Social media makes you think the world is on fucking fire everywhere. Nobody likes each other. Everyone's against everybody. Everyone. That's not true.
And then give it a minute here just to listen to this 1-minute clip from The Social Dilemma, kind of putting together. And there's this really smart dude. He was from Stanford, and he'd worked at many different places like Facebook and Google. And here he is. He was really well spoken on the subject.
Imagine a world where no one believes anything that's true. Everyone believes the government's lying to them. Everything is a conspiracy theory. I shouldn't trust anyone. I hate the other side. That's where all this is heading. We in the tech industry have created the tools to destabilize and erode the fabric of society in every country, all at once, everywhere.
If we don't agree on what is true, or that there is such a thing as truth, we're toast. This is the problem beneath other problems, because if we can't agree on what's true, then we can't navigate out of any of our problems. It's not about the technology being the existential threat. It's the technology's ability to bring out the worst in society, and the worst in society being the existential threat. If technology creates mass chaos, outrage, incivility, lack of trust in each other, loneliness, alienation, more polarization.
And that's basically what, you're seeing with it right now. And they had said, look, it's a tool like anything else, but we need to change this tool because the tool is demanding to be used. The tool is demanding your attention, and it is hacked into your brain so that you can't resist yourself from using it. And people are using it in malevolent ways where they're purposely trying to destabilize governments, your mind, the way you think about society. And so that's where we're having a problem with social media. So we need to basically just take it back, change the model of how it's done and how it's used.
But they're not. They won't change it back. They won't until shit gets so bad to where people are.
Yeah, how do you change it back?
You have to squash it and redo the whole thing.
I think people have to start recognizing these platforms for what they are and what they do to you. Start saying, not today. You're not doing that to me. And then start walking away from them and recognizing that and understanding that. And I think that sometimes when you pull back the curtain, you realize your own tendencies. You're a human. You're wired for this. They've looked into psychology and they've hacked your brain. They really have, to get your emotions. And that's why you just have to tell yourself, be like, you realize what you're doing with this, right? You realize that you're probably reading bad information and you're getting very emotional about it. And then you have to start recognizing the worst pockets of social media and the internet that is doing that to you, and stay away from those dark corners.
Go out for a walk. You want to take a walk with me, Virginia, and go by a lake or something?
Sure.
Look at some fake ass ducks. Get tricked again.
Don't walk too close to the edge. I'm kind of a bitch. I'll push you in.
You've done it before. You've definitely done it before.
Definitely pushed you in.
But it is a solid documentary to go and check out. So thank you very much for that tip there, Alexandra. You can go and check it out.
It's called The Social Dilemma.
Yes, it is. It's on Netflix, and they put it right in your face, so you can't miss it. So it's one of the big ones going on. And this just kind of goes to show you, too, you got to understand and recognize, where you are. TikTok, Oracle, I saw, is going to actually be the company. Microsoft, I guess, dropped out of the running, so Oracle's going to pick up TikTok.
They couldn't come to terms on the money with Microsoft.
And the latest, they say, is health experts are warning of a potentially extremely harmful new TikTok beauty trend, which sees users bleaching their own teeth at home.
Oh, boy.
They say several TikTok users reveal how they buy hydrogen peroxide, which is one of the active whitening agents used in over-the-counter and professional teeth whitening products, and they apply the chemical directly onto their teeth to achieve a brighter smile. But dentists warn using undiluted hydrogen peroxide in strong concentrations in this way is dangerous. That's because the substance can cause severe gum damage, which can eventually lead to tooth loss, as well as damage the enamel and tooth sensitivity. So do not get your health advice off TikTok, basically.
Yes, and don't do any kind of chemicals in your body or on your body because a TikTok video told you to.
Yeah, and they say that's really the damaging part of social media is people see that and then they take their health advice from TikTok. So don't. Another comment here, Alexander had said about the trusting the CDC. I feel like people don't trust the CDC because people don't like uncertainty. Science books have long proven facts in them, but the CDC is dealing with an ever-evolving situation. I think that the CDC is giving the facts that they have, but as new information comes in, what they know changes. They are not flip-flopping. They are reacting to new information every day, which changes their conclusions, and people don't understand that. When they find out a certain test has blank false positives, they have to recalculate all statistics that involve that test, which can drastically change the conclusion they had before. a normal person example, let's say that a woman is really into a guy and tells all of her friends how great he is. The next day she finds out that he is a deadbeat mooching off his parents and starts talking down about him to these same friends. That doesn't make her less trustworthy. She just didn't have all the information at the time.
And I hear what they're saying. I agree with them. I just think the CDC should say that. And maybe they are. Maybe they're going, hey guys, this is changing. We don't know. We know things are changing. We know it's frustrating, but maybe they don't care about phrasing it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't really know a lot about what the CDC is specifically saying day to day because I've kind of checked out. It became a little bit too much and mind numbing to be on that every single frickin' day.
Well, it's a pandemic that we're all dealing with, and it changes, and people want experts to know everything, and experts don't always know everything, and that's hard for people to understand.
This is a new one for us.
Mm-hmm.
People are like, you're a fucking expert. You should know.
Cesar in the YouTube chat, he said, one thing I learned and found interesting from Social Dilemma is the consensus of don't click the suggestions. They start taking you down a rabbit hole intentionally. And so they start propping videos in front of your eyes that they know you get emotionally involved about. And so, what they were basically saying is go and search out your own videos. Don't keep taking their suggestions because now your mind is in their hands and the manipulation begins.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a puppet.
Basically, we're all fucked, Virginia.
I'm a stupid puppet.
You're a stupid Facebook puppet.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Let me see here. Somebody said, our office is curious. Do any of the three of you who did not get COVID have type O blood? There is a report that certain blood types determine the severity of the virus on your body and whether or not you will get COVID.
I'm type O. That's the one. That's the one babies need.
Yes, type O is like the universal one that's like the best. You can give to anybody.
That's what I have.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of blood bragging right now.
Blood bragging. I'm B positive, which you should be in blood and life.
And it's weird because you always B negative, right?
Only to you.
Yeah, I've heard that part. Apparently O is the way to go, huh?
I got another friend who's got O, and he seems to think he is impenetrable by COVID because of his blood. Now, I don't know if this is just some like wonky thing that he thinks in his head or if this is real, but he says the special O blood that he's got, he can't get the COVID.
Well, my dad, when he found out that the Kevin Ralston and Suits had the COVID, I said, I'm negative. He goes, well, yeah, that's because you got that O blood. I'm like, all right, I got the O blood.
That's what my friend thinks.
Everyone's talking O blood.
He thinks the O blood can't get it.
I don't know about any of that. All I'm saying is this. I have been in the ocean 1 billion times with sea lice. Everyone around me gets sea lice but me. O blood?
Yeah, there is. Like I said, I've talked about the mosquito thing. There is something to it. It's very odd.
What's your blood type?
I don't know.
Oh.
I think it's like maybe B.
BA? Bitch ass?
Bitch ass
bitch
blood?
ass. I got bitch ass blood.
got bitch ass
blood and lungs. I probably do.
I'm just fucking around with your blood.
I am not genetically blessed.
If you can't take a blood joke.
Yeah, I'm all right.
You're right.
You can rag on my blood.
What about all the other 75 other ones we've hurled at him?
The actual hurtful ones. If you get your feelings hurt from a blood joke.
Bitch ass blood
my
is
blood's
just
open
funny.
season. Go ahead. Have at it.
You guys can come after my blood, but I get that O blood.
Yeah. Your blood's hard. Invincible.
Yeah.
I'll get malaria next week.
Marky Mark in the chat room was asking if that Social Dilemma is 10 years old. No, it's new. It's just came out because they're talking about COVID and the whole thing. So.
Oh, okay.
Mark was saying this is old news, but I would go ahead and watch it, Mark, before you spout off on social media. No,
Turns
I'm just
out
kidding.
you are old news.
No, but see, for kidding aside, Mark, it's a 2020 documentary.
I would say to me, with the Social Dilemma, it wasn't anything that was mine, because I've talked about all this stuff before, about how they use it, how they use psychology and blah, blah, blah. But the way they put it all there, the credibility of the voices that were in it talking about it. One of the guys who had been with Facebook and Pinterest and been, high levels, he said, I noticed myself Like, I was hacking myself. I was coming up with these designs, and I'm hiding in the closet going through Pinterest and things like that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I did it to me. And I knew that I was doing these things to try to, and the whole reason why we were doing that.
Damn, he got himself.
Yeah, and I think what is interesting to see is now it seems like the tech industry might be getting a bit of a conscience. And you're starting to see the unrest that is happening in our country and the world, and they're saying, okay, we've kind of created a monster of manipulation, and nobody knows what's true anymore. And you really need to, and like the one guy was saying, we have to all be able to agree that this is true, and we can't. There's nothing in the world that we agree on to being true.
You're right.
Nobody will say that's 100% true. There's no doubt about that.
It's politically motivated.
You can find right now people will say the sun does not rise every day. The sun is fake.
Someone got into an argument with me before because I said, if you see me stab somebody in the chest and there's witnesses and I stole or I stabbed somebody, that is the truth. There's nothing that you can... I stabbed somebody. No, technically, it's really not the truth, depending on, like, what the fuck are you talking about? That is there is such thing as the truth.
Well, what you're seeing is, yes, when you put it through the filter, you can manipulate the message to the point where people just don't know what to believe. And you think you just saw somebody get stabbed. And then after they take you into the blender, then you come out going, yeah, I don't know if he did stab him. I think he actually brought it on himself and stabbed himself.
You're right. There's definitely stuff you know of if you watch the documentary, but they really do. They make it very modern. I highly recommend it. Even if you know this shit, I would watch it.
And they're talking about Corona, so it can't be old,
and
right?
They are talking about Corona. Mm-hmm. You're going to start seeing that too, by the way, in storylines at all your shows. The Corona storyline.
Mm-hmm. There will be a lot of stuff out there, so hopefully they can do something about it, because you're right. They have kind of created a monster. Comment here, could we get another Jaybird Fat Hour? It's been a few years since you've had one, and it was glorious.
Fat Hour. What is that when I put the weight on?
Just put the weight on? Yeah, how much weight you can put on in an hour?
We usually do that at the end of the year, during Christmas time. The last show of the year is when we usually do it. We can do that shit again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Thanksgiving's going to be coming up for you.
Yeah, that's true.
We do Thanksgiving as well. I think we've done it for Thanksgiving, and we've done it for Christmas or holiday time in December.
Yeah. Another comment here about your pizza oven from Nick said, as a fellow Italian, I am appalled that Jaybird is even thinking about buying a pizza oven and then putting frozen processed food in it like Hot Pockets and pierogies. Oh. Pizza ovens are for homemade pizza, not frozen foods. Do not waste hundreds of dollars on a pizza oven to cook Hot Pockets. And while we're on the topic, Jaybird is buying a house, a new truck, and a pizza oven. Did he win the lottery? Who does his finances? How is Virginia letting all this happen? I email because I care.
Do me a favor. Mind your own business.
Oh.
I got it covered. I like frozen food. I like frozen food, and I will be doing both. Regular pizza, Hot Pockets, all kinds of shit.
Okay.
And it's not awesome to, when you have to go buy a new car and you're trying to get a house. I'm not swimming in money over here, but just the way it's fallen. That's the way the cookies crumbled.
Virginia, this is a little piece of advice for you. It says, Virginia, you need to try this. I just found this at Publix, and it is absolutely amazing. It is a champagne vinaigrette.
Oh.
Chef-inspired from Gerard's. Champagne vinaigrette.
It's a dressing.
Yes, I believe it is.
It looks disgusting.
But I read the word vinaigrette because I probably would have drank it like it's a beverage.
Don't drink it like it's champagne.
That looks so gnarly to me. I would not like that.
Just dip your cucumber in it. That sounded sexual.
Oh, yeah.
Put it on your salad.
Dip that cucumber in it.
Toss your salad with it.
That's real sexual. I got so much dressing all over it.
Yeah.
That's a fun game. The sexual eating game. That is fun.
And they are you can make eating very sexual.
Totally.
Very
big time. Oh, I want to put my calzone in your pizza oven.
Turn up the heat.
By the way, my frozen food calzone that I get in the frozen section.
Let me see. Carly has a question here. Said, I've been listening to y'all since elementary school, and now I'm in my first year of med school.
Wow.
And you can add Chicago to your listener map. All right, very nice. Beautiful city. Yesterday on the show, you asked the Bird Suits and Denny's if they ever had heard of the show before they interviewed for it. I was wondering how everybody even applied for the position if they didn't know about the show. How'd you hire V and the Bird and then go on to hire the rest of the gang? V, I was in contact with from a radio friend of mine. And Bird, I think you had friends tell you about the opportunity on this show that listened.
I was getting ready to go back to college for my master's degree. I was in the process of it, and she goes, "You need to listen to this show, Kevin in Virginia on Wild 95.5." Like, who the fuck are they?
What were you going to get your master's in?
Baiting,
mental health counseling,
masturbating.
Oh yeah, mental health counseling, huh?
Yeah, I personally feel like you got to be crazy to help other people.
Okay.
I don't want somebody that's never been through the fucking fire trying to help me with my shit. Give me a break. That one girl on Big Brother, the 26-year-old life coach. What the shit is she going to tell me?
What was her name?
Caitlin.
And then I believe that Denny's, he came to us through Bird, really.
Yeah, so you guys were having a contest on the air trying to get the next producer, the next Todd competition. And she goes, there's this big tryout on the radio. I'm like, all right, I'll try it out. And when I got there, it was kind of, I first had an interview with y'all on the phone on the air, and I passed through that.
Right.
Then I had to sit down with you guys at Duffy's, and I dressed I had a tie and a shirt on, like a button-down tie. I actually dressed up for the interview. Kevin was you were drinking, Virginia was drunk, definitely.
Well, you put me in a private room at Duffy's and tell me I have an open tab. Guess what? You're going to get a fucked up Virginia.
And then I won that thing, and we got Denny's here because he knew me. I knew him.
Yeah, that's how it's kind of all come together.
And Suits came through us through the intern program, I thought, right?
Yeah.
And we had interns.
Yeah, he was doing like Connecticut School of Broadcasting and kind of came in through that way.
When we had interns until interns ruined it.
Yeah, not allowed to have interns anymore.
Cannibalized yourselves, you idiots.
Well, it's kind of interesting because I was looking at that list earlier, that we had on the show about things that boomers still love, and it did say unpaid internships. And I'm like, well, that is the one thing on the list. I'm like, I still agree with that.
I do too.
I did the unpaid internship. I did 2 or 3 of them.
You get paid in knowledge and connections.
Yeah, and I got jobs because of it. If it weren't for those unpaid internships, I don't know that I would be in the industry. And I was very thankful to actually be able to do that.
Correlation.
Direct.
I think it's a great exchange.
They have no idea how important an internship is, and even if you're not getting paid, it really doesn't matter. If you are an intern in radio and you just show signs of having a good attitude and you're always around, they will keep you around in radio.
Here's the thing. I knew it going in. I knew what the exchange was. I knew that I was not going to get paid money and I was going to get paid in experience and knowledge and contacts. And I was okay with that. I don't like when people take away an option of consenting adults. Because it's like, if we agree to this and sign it, if nothing else, make it something you understand you're not getting paid. If you agree to do this, go ahead and do it. What is wrong with that?
You are getting paid, though, because those contacts and that knowledge, that on-the-job training has value.
Right.
And with radio, it's very, very unique. You're not going to be able to learn the craft in college. Even in broadcasting school, a lot of their equipment is not the same stuff that you actually use in a radio station.
Well, so it's different for radio than it is for other jobs you see in Washington. Interns they'll work for free, and then they'll still be an intern and they'll get a salary of some sort. In radio, you're still in college. You have to be in school to get into a radio internship program. So in a sense, you paid for the class. This is the extra stuff you're getting.
It's like taking a class.
Totally.
Yeah, it makes sense. And why not do it? And at any point, if you feel like you're being taken advantage of, leave.
Right.
It's not like,
If you don't like it, there's the door.
Yeah.
But there are plenty of people that do like it and do see the value of it and came up through the ranks because of it and wish that it was still here for the next generation of people that actually want to work hard.
The people that had the lawsuit said they're getting us to do their work they would pay somebody for free. Well, yeah. That's basically how it works.
We did that.
But the great thing about it is you can go into that job for 3 months and you don't get paid any money if you can afford to do that and, through student loans and whatnot. And I had to, scrounge to be able to do it. You may realize, I hate this job. I hate this industry. I don't want to do that. But how valuable is that?
So valuable.
To have 3 months of your life to be like, whoa, I really actually hate this. I'm going to stop doing that and do something different in life.
Yeah, David Pickle Squad in the chat room is wrong again. It is not the Me Too movement that stopped the interns. It's the interns not wanting to work for free.
The interns actually sued and said, you're making us do the same work that you would pay somebody for. You need to pay us. And then all the radio companies said, all right, that's it. No more unpaid interns.
I remember what happened in Washington, D.C., and I saw that, and I'm like, they just, there goes internships.
You
and sure
cannibalized
enough,
a beautiful thing that so many of us, myself included, came up with and learned because of. But I never would have learned how to be an on-air DJ if it wasn't for people that let me be an unpaid intern.
But do you have to be able to learn skills while you're on the job? You can't just be a fucking gopher. You need to make sure you are learning the craft.
That's why I think the agreement should state that. I think that it should be a contract where it's like there is an understanding, and Heather said, hey, I believe in internships, but the employer must either pay or teach the skill, not just an errand internship. And that's why I wound up leaving one of my internships. I went in there and I felt like I got everything out of it. And then it just kind of digressed into me running tickets out to the concert venue every day in my car and paying for the gas. And they weren't even reimbursing me. I'm like, screw this. So I left. But I left.
It's your option.
Yeah, it was my option. And I left. And, you know, as far as like the skill thing, what I did is I went in there, I copied all their files. Like at night, and I had them, and I put them in my car, and everything they had on the textbooks on how to do promotions and everything, I did all that, and I'm like, I got what I came for, and I left.
Look at you. You're fucking Michael J. Fox from Secret of My Success.
I did. I stole their shit and left.
That's a smart move.
So I think that I think that it probably need to hit the reset button on internships to say, but that's how we did that, though. We let people know when they came in here, here's what you're going to be doing. We'll move you on to this. We had a program where we'd rotate you to that so you could see a little bit of every part of the business, and it was laid out that way. And then I think a second internship lawsuit fell, and they said, you have to pay people from now on. And we're like, we don't have that kind of budget, so internships are gone.
Barely pay employees here, let alone interns.
Yeah, it's just, it's the margins. I don't know many businesses, especially like right now, who would have that extra cash flow to be going, yeah, let's go ahead, let's pay somebody who doesn't have any experience to come do a shitty job for us.
Probably a cocaine factory.
Amazon.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Those two. That's it, Kevin. Cocaine factory and Amazon.
Yeah.
Boy, if cocaine and Amazon teamed up.
I think the world...
Imagine deliver cocaine to your door.
I think you think the world's crazy now. People get all high up on coke and then they're going on the internet fighting with each other. Wow. That's when you start seeing people show up at the door. You want to say some shit about my mom? Okay, fuck you. I'm at your door.
Mm-hmm. Got an email here, podcast suggestion from Buckley. Said, I'm sure that you already knew this, but Kev, your boy Jason Bateman has a podcast. I did not know that.
Everyone's got a podcast, Kev.
Jason Bateman went on with armchair expert Dax and talked about the podcast he's doing now.
Mm-hmm. It's with Will Arnett, who he did Arrested Development with, and Sean Hayes. I think they're all very entertaining people. Smartless is the name of it. Sent that there. So, yeah, that sounds really cool.
I haven't checked it out yet, but I did hear I listened to Dax Shepard, and he was on there. Bateman was talking about it, and that's a great episode. Dax and Bateman together. They're very listenable.
Oh, I bet.
I like those two.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of both of them. I'd love to hear that. I'm going to have to go check it out. Somebody did a screenshot here. Said, I was listening to the podcast where Virginia was slamming everybody about pet deaths. And look at poor Jaybird's face. That is a hurt face right there.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That is a buzzed face. Is that during the podcast? I think I was
so,
drinking some whiskey. Yeah. Whiskey with mean dog comments doesn't always go well.
He's like, what?
Like,
I'm so hurting.
What the shit did you say about my dog? Thank God he can't hear this.
Yeah. It's just the face of a man that's hurting right there.
I'm just kidding. I hope your dog lives for 20 more years.
I would not want him to do that, actually. That's too long.
All right,
he doesn't want to live 20 more years.
I don't know if I want to live 20. I mean, this body is starting to click. It's making weird sounds when I walk.
Yeah, I'm ready to get out of here. All right. Well, thank you for the emails. You can hit us up with anything you want to drop into the show. Mail at kvjshow.com, mail at kvjshow.com. Thanks for jumping back into it. KVJ TV is back up and going, and we are back in the studio. We'll be back here again tomorrow. See you then. Goodbye.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems, ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.